Your life is a reflection of your thoughts. If you change your thinking, you change your life. In fact, 85% of people struggle with low self-esteem linked to negative self-talk at some point in their lives. That's a powerful statistic, one that makes us pause and ask, what's happening in our minds? Today, we're diving into a transformative topic: overcoming negative thinking. This isn't just about silencing your inner critic, it's about empowering ourselves to live more fulfilling lives. In the world of Stoicism, there is a profound understanding that our thoughts aren't just whispers in our minds. They are powerful voices that shape our happiness and suffering. Stoic wisdom teaches us that while the world might not bend to our will, our perception of it is entirely up to us. The Stoics weren't just ancient philosophers, they were mental warriors, battling against the tyranny of uncontrolled thoughts and emotions with rationality and inner calm. Today, I'm here to guide you through understanding how negative thoughts impact us and to explore practical Stoic strategies to combat them. We'll learn how to harness the power of our minds to build a life not bound by negativity, but driven by the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. If you're skeptical, I encourage you to stay with me. This may challenge some of your deeply held beliefs, but it will also open a new horizon of personal growth. Before we dive in, I invite you to share this video with others who are on their own journey of personal growth and philosophical exploration. And if you appreciate the insights we're exploring here and want to support our journey into Stoicism, please hit the subscribe button. Let's get started. Understanding the problem. Negative thinking isn't just an occasional nuisance or a fleeting bad mood. It's a pervasive issue that can impact every part of our lives, from how we feel when we wake up in the morning to the choices we make about our health, careers, and relationships. These thoughts can be debilitating. But what is negative thinking at its core? It's a pattern of expecting the worst, undermining our own efforts, and often assuming we are less capable or deserving than we truly are. Why do we fall into this trap? The Stoic philosophers believed that it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our interpretations of them. Epictetus famously said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them." This perspective is crucial for understanding negative thinking. It's not reality that limits us, but the lens through which we view our world. Carl Jung's exploration of the psyche provides further insight. He recognized that much of our negative thinking stems from the less conscious parts of our mind, the personal and collective unconscious. Jung wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." By bringing these unconscious beliefs and biases into the light of conscious examination, we can begin to loosen their control over us. Consider the impact this has on our everyday lives. When faced with a challenge, negative thinking can make us feel as though we've lost before we even begin, preventing us from taking the very actions that could lead to success. It's like rowing a boat with all your might, but not realizing you're anchored to the shore. No matter how hard you try, you're not going anywhere. Stoicism teaches us to examine our thoughts critically and logically, to question the validity of these negative assumptions. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, prompts us to reflect on our thoughts with scrutiny and to dismiss those that are irrational or unhelpful. This kind of introspection allows us to detach from harmful thinking patterns and regain control of our mental landscape. Let's also not underestimate the influence of societal and cultural messages. In a world flooded with messages about not being enough, not successful enough, rich enough, or smart enough, it's easy to see why negative thoughts can take root. These messages often find fertile ground in our minds, sprouting weeds of doubt and insecurity that can choke our potential. But Stoicism gives us the tools to clear out these weeds and cultivate a garden of supportive, empowering thoughts. Tackling negative thinking. The issue of negative thinking is what we're tackling today. It's not just about dismissing or avoiding negative thoughts, but about understanding them deeply, questioning them thoroughly, and then replacing them with reasoned, constructive thinking. This Stoic approach isn't just about coping, it's about thriving. By mastering our thoughts, we master our perceptions and ultimately our lives. As we continue, let's remember, every thought we choose to entertain and each one we decide to challenge is a step toward the life we truly want to live. Origins of negative thinking. Understanding the roots of negative thinking is essential if we are to effectively address it. This isn't just about identifying bad habits. It's about uncovering the deep-seated roots that shape our perceptions and influence our mental landscape. Negative thoughts often arise from a variety of sources: our upbringing, societal pressures, past failures, and even seemingly insignificant comments from those around us. Each of these can plant seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation, which may grow into a persistent state of negativity. From a young age, many of us are introduced to environments that might not foster positive self-esteem. Consider a child repeatedly told they're not smart enough, or an educational system that seems to reward only perfection. These experiences can significantly color our worldview. Aristotle once remarked, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit." Applied to the mind, this idea suggests that repeated negative thoughts can become a habit, causing us to see ourselves and our capabilities in a diminished light. Our own experiences of failure and rejection also reinforce these negative scripts. Every time we face a setback or encounter criticism, it can affirm an internal dialogue that whispers, "I knew I couldn't do it." This becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, not because we lack capability, but because we begin to act in ways that align with our negative beliefs. Plato's idea, reality is created by the mind, we can change our reality by changing our mind, is profoundly relevant here. By examining and challenging our interpretations of events, we can begin to dismantle the foundation of our negative thoughts. Fear also plays a critical role in fostering negative thinking. As a natural protective mechanism, fear often spirals into excessive worry or anxiety, overshadowing our rational judgment. Fear of failure, the unknown, and rejection can all lead to catastrophic thinking, where the mind jumps to the worst possible outcomes. Stoicism offers a tool against this: the premeditation of evils, which involves visualizing the worst-case scenario in detail to lessen its emotional impact if it actually occurs. Carl Jung suggested, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Many of our negative thoughts are rooted in unconscious beliefs formed in our early years, influenced by our guardians, teachers, and the media. These unconscious beliefs often go unchallenged because they remain unknown to our conscious mind. By making these beliefs conscious, we can rob them of their power and regain control of our thoughts. Societal and cultural pressures also play a significant role. We live in a society that often emphasizes scarcity and competition, setting exceptionally high standards that can feel unattainable. This environment fosters constant comparison and feelings of never being good enough. Stoicism teaches us to redirect our focus from external validation to internal virtues, encouraging us to measure success by our personal growth rather than by comparison to others. The roots of negative thinking are complex and varied, involving personal history, emotional experiences, ingrained fears, and societal messages. However, by leveraging the wisdom of both Western philosophy and psychology, particularly Stoicism's focus on controlling our perceptions and reactions, we can begin to understand and unravel these negative thought patterns. This deep understanding not only helps to mitigate their effects, but empowers us to reconstruct our mental framework in a more positive and resilient way. Renew your mind. When we talk about renewing our minds, we're not suggesting a fleeting attempt to think more positively. We're advocating for a profound and enduring transformation of our internal dialogue. This is about cultivating a mindset that enables us not just to survive, but to thrive. Stoic philosophers offer timeless guidance on how this can be achieved through disciplined reflection on our thoughts and deliberately shaping them to foster resilience and peace. One of the central tenets of Stoicism is the belief that our emotions and reactions are the results of our judgments, which are within our power to change. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor and philosopher, once noted, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This powerful assertion reminds us that renewal begins by seizing control of our thoughts, scrutinizing them for accuracy, and aligning them with our true intentions and values. In doing so, we not only transform our perspective, but also unlock the strength to create a life led by intention rather than reaction. Aristotle also provides valuable perspective here, noting, "Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom." This introspective journey involves diving deep into our thought patterns, identifying those that serve us well versus those that sabotage our efforts. By becoming more aware of our thoughts, we can begin to challenge the negative ones that may have become ingrained over time. This process of challenging and changing our thoughts isn't about denying our emotions, but about understanding them better, allowing us to manage them more effectively. Moreover, Carl Jung's insights into the human psyche complement Stoic wisdom beautifully. Jung argued, "What you resist not only persists, but will grow in size." Rather than resisting negative thoughts, Stoicism teaches us to acknowledge them, analyze their origins, and assess their truthfulness. This approach prevents these thoughts from festering in the shadows of our unconscious, where they can grow unchecked. Renewing the mind also requires us to engage with materials and activities that nurture positivity and growth. This might include reading philosophical texts that challenge our understanding, engaging with art that inspires us, or simply spending time in reflection and meditation. These activities provide new narratives and perspectives that can replace our old, unhelpful stories. Socrates' insistence on the importance of living an examined life plays a crucial role here. By continually examining our beliefs and the thoughts that stem from them, we engage in a process of mental renewal that keeps our minds agile and aligned with our philosophical goals. This ongoing examination isn't just a task, but a way of living that keeps our internal world refreshed and attuned to the reality of our experiences. Plato also emphasized the importance of aligning with the forms, the ideal versions of justice, beauty, and goodness. In a similar vein, renewing our minds can be seen as an effort to align our thoughts with the most virtuous and empowered versions of ourselves. By aspiring to these ideals, we craft a self-concept that is robust, compassionate, and deeply wise. To put this into practice, we can start each day with a simple affirmation or a Stoic reflection that sets the tone for the kind of thoughts we wish to nurture. Whether it's a quote from Epictetus about the power of our responses, or a Jungian mantra that reminds us of the strength found in facing our shadows, these daily practices are the building blocks of a renewed mind. Surround yourself with positivity. This principle involves consciously choosing an environment, people, places, and media that supports and enhances our mental and emotional well-being. As Seneca famously advised, Associate with people who are likely to improve you. This guidance encourages us to be selective about our company and to cultivate relationships that inspire and challenge us to grow. Aristotle also touched on the importance of the company we keep in his discussion of friendship, categorizing friendships into three types: those of utility, pleasure, and the good. The highest and most valuable form, the friendship of the good, is based on mutual respect and admiration of each other's virtues. These relationships encourage us to become better versions of ourselves, as they are inherently positive and rooted in a mutual striving for virtue and excellence. Plato's allegory of the cave also teaches us about the impact of our environment on our perception of reality. Those who lived in the cave believed the shadows cast on the walls were reality because that was all they had been exposed to. When one of them escapes and sees the world outside, he realizes the limitations of his understanding and becomes capable of achieving a higher state of knowledge. This metaphor beautifully illustrates how expanding our surroundings to include positive and enlightening influences can profoundly change our perspective and understanding. Carl Jung's ideas about the collective unconscious and archetypes further emphasize the importance of surrounding ourselves with positivity. According to Jung, our psyche is influenced by shared memories and ideas that form the collective unconscious, which shapes how we perceive the world and ourselves. By choosing supportive and positive environments, we can influence the archetypes that dominate our personal narratives, shifting from those that emphasize fear and inadequacy to those that embody strength and self-actualization. In practical terms, surrounding ourselves with positivity involves more than just being around cheerful people. It means engaging with content and activities that reinforce our philosophical and life goals. It also means participating in communities, both online and offline, where discussions are rooted in growth, understanding, and mutual support. These choices not only shield us from negativity, but also nurture a mindset that is resilient, motivated, and open to the deeper joys of life. In our pursuit of personal growth, let us remember the importance of a supportive environment. By aligning our surroundings with our highest aspirations, we empower ourselves to reach the best versions of who we can be. Environment we create around us should encourage growth, inspiration, and constructive feedback rather than criticism and negativity. This requires us to be vigilant about the media we consume, opting for books, films, and programs that inspire and educate instead of those that perpetuate fear or despair. Our surroundings, whether at home or work, should reflect the values and virtues we admire. This can be as simple as maintaining a clean and organized space, which, according to Stoic practice, mirrors a clean and organized mind. It may also involve decorating our spaces with art and symbols that remind us of our philosophical commitments, such as courage, justice, moderation, and wisdom. Seneca's words echo through time when he advises, "Hang on to your youthful enthusiasms. You'll be able to use them better when you're older." By surrounding ourselves with positivity, we are essentially cultivating these enthusiasms, aligning with our better natures. This not only enhances our own lives, but also creates a standard and a beacon for those around us, thereby establishing a ripple effect of positivity. Take Stoic action. In the journey to overcome negative thinking, Stoic philosophy reminds us that understanding and intention alone are not enough. Action is essential. Epictetus succinctly put it, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This directive underscores a profound truth. Our ideals must be manifested through our deeds, not just our thoughts. Taking action in the Stoic sense means engaging in behaviors and practices that reinforce our philosophical ideals. It involves making deliberate choices every day that align with the values of wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. By embodying these virtues in our actions, we challenge negative thoughts that tell us we are incapable or unworthy, thus rewriting our narrative to one of empowerment and self-efficacy. Aristotle also emphasizes the significance of action in his doctrine of the mean, where virtue is not just a state of mind, but a state of character resulting from habitual practice. For Aristotle, we become just by performing just actions, brave by performing acts of bravery, and temperate by performing acts of temperance. Thus, action is not merely a demonstration of virtue, it is the very means by which virtue is cultivated. Plato's philosophy supports this with his theory of forms, which suggests that to know the good is to do the good. True knowledge, once attained, naturally leads to right action. Therefore, aligning our actions with our understanding of virtue brings us closer to Plato's ideal of the good, elevating not just our minds, but our entire beings. Carl Jung's concept of individuation, the integration of conscious and unconscious aspects to achieve self-actualization, highlights the necessity of action as well. For Jung, this integration doesn't occur in contemplation alone, but through encounters with the world that challenge our existing frameworks and compel us to grow. As he noted, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." Our true character and maturity are expressed through our actions. Stoic action, then, goes beyond combating negative thoughts. It's about proactively living out virtues that define Stoicism. It involves making choices, big and small, that reflect our commitment to self-improvement and philosophical integrity. Whether it's speaking kindly in a difficult situation, choosing to confront a long-standing fear, or forgiving someone who has wronged us, each action is a step toward becoming the person we aspire to be. Furthermore, taking Stoic action means embracing life's challenges as opportunities for growth. Instead of shying away from difficulties, Stoics see them as arenas for practicing virtue. Each challenge is a call to action, a chance to demonstrate resilience, practice patience, or reaffirm commitment to our principles. In practical terms, taking Stoic action can be as simple as setting daily goals that reflect our values, engaging in community service that fosters justice and kindness, or maintaining practices like journaling or meditation that encourage reflection and self-control. Each of these actions not only counters negative thinking, but also builds a stronger, more virtuous self. The power of words. Stoic philosophy also emphasizes that our virtues are reflected not only in our actions, but in our words. Words carry significant power in shaping our reality. Epictetus advised, "First learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak." This idea points to the inherent power of words to influence and shape our thoughts and emotions. The Stoics understood that words could either fortify or erode the inner citadel of our minds. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reflected often on communicating with integrity and restraint, emphasizing that words should reflect virtues like honesty, restraint, and kindness. By aligning our speech with these values, we reinforce Stoic practice and extend its influence outward, positively impacting those around us. Aristotle contributed to this conversation through his concept of ethos, pathos, and logos, highlighting the power of speech to build credibility, create emotional connection, and present logical argument. For Aristotle, the way we speak and the words we choose convey more than mere information. They also influence perspectives, emotions, and actions. Plato's dialogues also showcase a deep appreciation for the precision and impact of language. In the Socratic dialogues, for instance, Socrates used questions and reflective dialogue to help others uncover deeper truths. Plato showed that through mindful dialogue, we can guide others toward greater understanding and self-awareness. Carl Jung's theories on the psyche resonate with this Stoic emphasis on mindful speech. Jung wrote extensively on how language can reflect and shape our unconscious drives and impulses. By bringing these impulses into conscious awareness through dialogue and reflection, we foster greater psychological wholeness and health. The power of words extends beyond external communication and into our inner dialogues. The words we use to talk to ourselves can strongly influence our self-perception and emotional state. Negative self-talk, a common experience, can be deeply destructive, leading to lower motivation and feelings of helplessness. Positive self-talk, grounded in Stoic virtues, can empower and uplift. Engaging in positive affirmations, often recommended in modern cognitive behavioral therapies, aligns well with Stoic exercises. These affirmations are not about unrealistic positivity. Rather, they reinforce the strength and resilience that come from a Stoic understanding of control and virtue. By affirming our ability to manage our responses and commit to living according to our values, we strengthen our Stoic resolve. The power of words in Stoicism is not merely theoretical, but deeply practical, encompassing our dialogues with others, our internal monologues, and our engagement with culture. Each word we choose carries weight, either building or eroding, enlightening or obscuring, healing or hurting. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Stoic philosophy. Remember, the words we choose and the actions we take forge the path to a life of virtue and purpose. As you continue navigating life's complexities, let Stoic wisdom guide you, turning each challenge into an opportunity for growth. If you found today's discussion enlightening, we invite you to watch our next video, which explores the Stoic approach to overcoming adversity. It's right here on the screen. Just click to continue your journey with us. Thank you for being a part of our Stoic journey. Together, we're building not only knowledge, but a community grounded in wisdom and strength.